Crap Gamer, Iron Wolf, and the Mooch 78. All that and more tonight on Xbox Nation. Yeah. Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us on a Friday night. Hopefully, you guys are having good holidays and stuff, whatever you might celebrate. I don't particularly celebrate much of anything myself, but hopefully you guys do and spend some time with your families and stuff. I just got back from seeing the new Star Wars. Pretty good. I was actually thinking about doing a spoiler terrific review for it and putting it up tomorrow. I don't do a lot of movie reviews, but it was one that I actually thought was kind of worthy since everybody's talking about it, and I'm a big Star Wars fan. But I'm a different kind of Star Wars fan, and don't worry, we'll get into the games here in a second. I'm a different kind of Star Wars fan, as you know. I wasn't old enough. I wasn't born for the first two in '77 and '80. Just born for the Return of the Jedi in '83. So I didn't see those in the theater. And I thought they were boring growing up. They'd come on, and I just thought they were just really boring. I couldn't get into them. Then Episode 1 came out in 1999. Loved it. It was fast-paced. The lightsabers, it was fantastic. So after that point, I was able to get into the older ones, but really enjoyed like Episode 3 and stuff like that. So I like the newer ones. So I think it'd be interesting to hear my take on that. But as far as games, man, there's so much going on lately, and the biggest news would be the Kojima stuff. Man, and I got a lot to say about this, all right? First thing I will say is the media is absolutely loving this. They're on this guy's nutsack huge.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're dangling off this guy's nutsack, right? Like, they're stretching that shit out. And this guy's a Japanese guy, so he probably doesn't have a big nutsack, you know what I mean? But they're hanging on for dear life. You know what I'm saying? So as far as I'm concerned, do you guys remember, and Mooch, me and you covered this, and we've been getting a lot of hate on Twitter, and I've been seeing it. Remember when Silent Hills was rumored to be bought by Microsoft and Kojima coming along with that, right? Yep. Me and you both said, we didn't really give a shit, but we would have bought the game just to parade it around because it would have been funny, right?
Absolutely.
And the media was all like, this is awful. This is the worst thing ever that could happen. Oh, my gosh, Xbox can't do this. It's wrong, blah, blah, blah. It's horrible. They can't be doing this. Why do they always do this? And then it turned out not to be legit or whatever. And now that he's going with Sony, everybody's like, welcome home. Kojima goes home. Kojima-san. You know what I mean? Like, holy shit. You know what I mean? And
Can we keep in mind that this man hasn't made anything good in a very long time? I mean, listen, dude, Metal Gear Solid 5 got a 10 out of 10, but nobody even played 10 hours of it because after the 5th hour, you're like, I just repeated the last 5 hours. It was the same thing over and over and over again. It got a 10 out of 10 because for some reason the media and everybody turned their back on Konami. One report came out that Konami isn't good to their employees. Most companies aren't good to their employees. They fired his ass. He didn't get. They fired him. They removed him from the premise. They banned him from production. They banned him from the video game awards. Maybe Kojima also kind of sucks as an employee. Anybody ever think of that?
Well, it's a possibility.
But I'm getting back to is he's got one claim to fame. The game really hasn't been good in a very long time. We buy it because of the nostalgia. Okay, it's the same thing. Currently, we've got the new Star Wars flick, which is doing very well, and I'm glad to hear that. But the first three, even the diehard Star Wars fans, they didn't care for them, but yet they still broke blockbuster numbers in the theaters because of the nostalgia. Yeah. So, I mean, listen, I've said this time and time again on Twitter. I want to say it again. I haven't been on a podcast. I took a couple days off, which was great. But to be honest with you,
the Mooch World Tour was going well.
The World Tour ended. I was signing shirts and breasts. It was great. So, like, listen, but, like, literally, but, like, there's the best part about this is Kojima is no better than M. Night Shyamalan. He, at this point in his career, is just a name.
The Sixth Sense was good, just like
like Metal Gear Solid 1, and then it went downhill. And, like, literally, the problem right now is M. Night Shyamalan, he's not real. Nowadays, when you look at J.J. Abrams, he's put his heart and soul into Star Wars. But he did a really great interview with Howard Stern. And Howard Stern goes, wait a minute. He goes, you did Star Trek. He goes, now you're doing Star Wars. He goes, there's 5 shows on NBC that say produced and written by J.J. Abrams. He goes, you can't be everywhere. What are you doing? And J.J. Abrams goes, all right, well, I'm not producing and looking at them, but he goes, I get the scripts and I tell them if I approve them or not. So he goes, I do have my thumbprint on it. I'm just not there in the seat every day like I am on my major projects. And that's the same thing here. Kojima is no longer that hard-nosed guy who programs and sits there and he's doing detailed programming and this and that. Now he's hired a staff. He's got followers. People do his work. He looks over it. He will approve it or disapprove it. But he's just a name. It's a name on the side of the box at this point. And that's why his arrogance got him fired at Konami, in my personal opinion.
Could I just say something quickly?
Yeah.
Metal Gear has been in decline for a long time. And besides Metal Gear, what has he made? His resume is fucking dog shit.
That's my point.
Right? And like Microsoft, they have 4 games with legendary developers. The media don't even hype this shit up at all. You know what I'm saying? And we have Quantum Break from the creators of Max Payne and Alan Wake. We have Crackdown from the creator of GTA, Rico from the creator of Metroid Prime and Mega Man, and we have Hideki Kamiya, you know, the guy who worked on Resident Evil 2, Devil May Cry, Beautiful
He's
Joe.
that real asshole that
Bayonetta.
blocks everybody on Twitter.
He's an asshole, but you know his work is second to none. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is pedigree. With all these developers individually destroy Kojima, and the resume speaks for itself. And all I can say, that's a motherfucking fact.
It is. Hey, but Iron Wolf, look, we're all just damage controlling right now, according to all those people, right? Although anybody can go back and listen to the podcast that me and Mooch did with Big Gamer Small Talk months and months ago around E3 time, where we both said we don't give a shit about Silent Hills or Kojima, but it would just be funny because the media would react a negative way if this happened, and the fans would react. And now we see, you guys always say, well, show me where there's bias in the media. Show me where there's this. Show me where there's that. Ta-fucking-da. Here you go. Just go back and look at the comments from when Silent Hills and Kojima were rumored to go to Microsoft to now when Kojima now has a deal with Sony. There's not a negative fucking word spoken about them with Sony. It's all welcome home, open arms, bonsai, Toyota, all this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like we're super happy. We're fucking ecstatic. He's home, but then and hey,
Hero Honda, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, exactly. And not only that, but you also, what really blew my mind, and I'm like, are you guys fucking stupid? Do you not see the biasness here? Okay, Casey Hudson from BioWare, right?
Yeah.
Left BioWare, joins Microsoft. Oh, he says, I like VR, AR. Next thing you know, Shaggy from IGN and everybody's like, oh, talent wasted. Talent fucking wasted. Why is he doing this shit? You know, blah, blah, blah. I hate AR. I hate VR, right? Right? Everybody's attacking him, remember? And even Mike Ibarra had to say, no, he's not just doing that stuff. He's doing, you know, he's actually like the studio head or whatever. Kojima's like, I really like VR. You know, he hints around that he might even be doing a VR game. There's not a single fucking person attacking this saying, why is Kojima going to waste his time with this bullshit? You know, look at how the media reacts. There's not a single thing out there. Nobody's saying a word.
But what pisses me off? What pisses me off, all those developers that I mentioned with all these games that they're making for Xbox, all exclusive. Why don't the media say something about that? Why don't they praise that? They're too busy sucking Kojima's cock. I don't get it, yo.
You make a really good point, though, Crap, with that whole, what was the gentleman's name again from, that came over from
Casey Hudson.
Yeah, Casey Hudson. Yeah, he regarded, right?
He's regarded in the business as a five-tool player. He's so creative. Not only is he a programmer, the depth that you get in games like Mass Effect. The Mass Effect 1, just pick, not Mass Effect 1, any of the three from the trilogy crushed the Metal Gear series in my personal opinion. I know it's two different types of
they
games.
aren't weird, you know, like look, I'm not there's a culture difference obviously, you know what I'm saying? Like I like Metal Gear 1, you know, G9 soldiers or whatever, I could get into it. And 3 was okay too because it was like the whole Vietnam type era or whatever. I kind of got into that. I couldn't tell you what the hell happened in any of the other Metal Gears, right? Like Metal Gear 2, that ending is still like the biggest what the fuck moment I've ever experienced. Like I beat the game, I'm like, what is that? I have no idea. Like they're just so weird. You know what I mean? I don't understand it, you know, and that's, I think, the little bit of the culture difference or whatever. Hey, and to people that think that this guy's going to come in there and they're like, how many tweets did I get? Xbone is dead now. Xbone, right? It's dead. And I'm like, okay, let me understand this. He just signed his deal. He was literally terminated from Konami on the 15th. Just signed this deal with Sony. Even if he gets a game out, super fast fucking pace. Well, look, Metal Gear 4 to 5 took 8 years. Even if he's super fast and cuts that in half, you are still looking at 2019, 2020 before a game. That's PS5 territory. At that point, who gives a shit?
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's coming to PC as well. So, I mean, it's so funny how quickly people forget that whole argument when it's Xbox. Oh, Titanfall's not exclusive. Oh, Fable Legends is an exclusive. Oh, this is an exclusive. It's on PC and Xbox as well. Well, look at all the games on PS4 that are also on PC because it's harder and harder for these third-party platforms to make their games exclusive to one thing. You know what I mean? So this game would go to PC, and it's basically a glorified indie game. You know, I mean, what are people expecting? They think they're going to get Metal Gear or Silent Hills. You're not. You're probably, if you do get a PS4 game in the near future from them, it's going to be something very indie.
Right.
Very, very, very indie.
Could I just say something quickly?
Yeah, man, just jump in. You guys can just jump in. I'm just.
Yeah, you guys can jump in.
Yeah. Kojima, he came out and he actually said that he had companies approaching him with offers on the table, but he chose Sony because
they're Japanese.
But like, yo, where's the proof of that? You know what I'm saying? I don't think anybody fucking gave him a contract. To be honest with you, man, I don't think anybody did. I don't think anybody gives a shit.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if Microsoft did reach out. I
don't think anybody cares about Metal Gear because I know.
To be honest with you, I don't even think Microsoft approached him. You know what I mean? They did their own thing.
Well, look, I mean, they could have offered him more money, but at the end of the day, they're not the same culture. He's
it's
always
that Japanese pride. He'd rather come on stage and beg for money. That's just the way he is, yo.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's already selling a bunch of merchandise, trying to get money up or whatever. I wouldn't be surprised if you see them like begging for money, like they did with Yu Suzuki. Look, and this is the thing,
it'll be it's in your hands.
Like, what's he gonna do? Like a stealth marketing, like a stealth game, like metal robots. You know what I mean? I mean, it's gonna be something retarded. It's not gonna be something great.
I mean, what sucks? What disappoints me, and I'm calling it now, is Microsoft's gonna get up on stage at E3. Phil's gonna show maybe 5 or 6. Not new IPs that we have never seen, but some of the games that are still remaining to come out in 2016 at the time, and then we'll see probably 3 new IPs or 3 new games in development. Sony will have nothing but Horizon postponed until 2017, The Last Guardian with a question
mark. There's already the rumor about Horizon being
right.
postponed into
and
2017.
Then when all is done and Fat Princess 2 is announced and all this other stuff, then they're going to be like, well, this sucks. And then you're going to have Adam Fatboy Boys come out. I can already see it. The lights go down. The lights come back up. And they're going to be like, what you've been waiting for. He's with us now. Kojima-san. And then everyone's going to get up. The crowd's going to faint. And then IGN's going to be like, well, we were going to give it to Microsoft, but no, this is going to Sony.
Kojima-san, he's home. Yeah, woo!
What I mean? You're going to have everybody, Max Scoville. What a way because all they did this past E3 was bring that poor man who looks like he hasn't eaten in months.
Yeah, poor guy.
To come out and beg for money for Shenmue 3, and they were like, well, that's it. Microsoft showed 75 games. Fuck them. Nope, Sony won this year. They brought a homeless Japanese man out.
Hey, in case anybody hasn't noticed, Sony does things that make them look good. That's all. Where's your better PSN? You ain't got it. Where's your folders? You ain't got it. Where's your second step authentication? You ain't got it. No. Where's your Last Guardian? You got the same footage you got 7 fucking years ago, and it placated you because you're a bunch of fucking sheep morons. You're too stupid to think for yourselves. You need your goddamn Japanese overlords to tell you what to think, when to think, and what to say. So they placate you with mindless dribble. You guys think you're getting The Last Guardian next year? You're not. You think you're getting Horizon Zero Dawn next year? You're not. You think you're getting some Kojima game next year? You're not getting that game until 2020, 2019 at the earliest. Yeah. Shenmue, you think you're getting that?
I would have said 2022 at the earliest.
Yeah, look, you guys think you're getting Shenmue 3 next year. No, it's 2017, maybe 2018. Who knows at this point? You guys are paying to wait for games, and that's all you're doing, and you guys are happy about it. You will sit there and taunt numbers. Hey, they won MPD. Well, whoop-de-fucking shit. I'm playing games over here, all right? I ain't got time for that bullshit, I'm literally on a game when people are messaging me on Twitter. I seriously don't have time to worry about some numbers that mean absolutely diddly shit to me or gamers in general because we're too busy actually gaming. You guys get bored. I get it. So you're looking at the gay porn and you're putting our heads on it. Whoop-de-fucking-do. You're weird. We all understand. We get that shit. You know what I mean? We do every day. Like, I've never sent shit like that to anybody in my life. Oh, Sony wins a fucking NPD. Next thing you know, we're all circle jerking with our heads on these weird pictures, man. Who's weird, though? The guys looking this shit up and doing this, or us? You know what I mean? I'd rather, like, sit there and have fun and talk and entertain about games because I like the subject than be a fucking weirdo and do all that kind of shit. You know what I mean? And this whole thing with the media, it's not all sunshine and fucking rainbows like everybody claims. You guys think that it's not real, this bias and stuff. Look at what I'm telling you. Look at how the reaction was with the media with the Kojima thing. When it was rumored to be Microsoft, they hated it. When it's with Sony, they love it. Welcome home, Kojima. Not only that, but fucking Shaggy from IGN tweets out, did Microsoft even call this guy? Not even at anybody. Yoshida is following him, and he's like, what, you love Microsoft so much? You know what I mean?
Wow.
Imagine if Phil Spencer had said this to somebody, right? Like Greg Miller or something. The fucking media would have ate him alive.
Yeah.
They would have literally ate the man alive. They would have been like, oh, what are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. They tried to, like, so Yoshida tries to make it seem like Shaggy is biased. Shaggy's not biased. He don't even hardly like the Xbox One from what I can see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, you know, just it blows my mind, and it actually kind of pissed me off because he was such a pussy, too. Did you see he apologized to him?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. You know, but I covered Microsoft for 13 years.
I wrote them both back when he apologized. I said, don't apologize to him. It was actually a backhanded insult to fucking Microsoft.
It was.
Why can't he like Microsoft? He does the Xbox version on the channel. Like you just said, the backlash that would have came if anybody from Microsoft ever wrote somebody on IGN, they would have been like, today on The Fix, Mike Ybarra loses his mind and tweets Naomi Kyle. Like, it would have been like, what? Like, it would have been like, this was just completely swept under the rug, and like, it was just like nothing came of it because it's Yoshida. That's what I'm trying to say. People are like, oh, we're making it up and we just complain. We're not just complaining. All I'm ever asking for is an even playing field. That's all I'm asking for. I don't think that's so hard. Let Sony and Microsoft duke it out. My argument is with the Sony YouTubers and basically the media and the people who pretend to be fake Xbox YouTubers. They're all
well, we all know there's a lot of those.
You know, the
out
top
there.
headline. That's the top headline on M4G.
Too many of them.
It's Kojima's logo. That's the top headline about his logo. Like, who gives a shit? Now let's just speculate for a second on this new logo of his. Do you guys think that it's a prehistoric game that he's working on right now because he has like a Spartan helmet or some shit?
It could be some kind of weird thing. I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea, man. I don't know.
Even though that's the case, it's going to be low budget. It's not going to be AAA, and it won't even be the same production as Rise. To be honest with you, like Rise, that was a great prehistoric game, and we'll probably get Rise free by then.
Oh, okay. Like prehistoric to me means like dinosaurs and stuff, but you're talking about like you know.
Yeah. Sorry, that's what I meant. It could be historical, you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay, yeah, I hear you. Like prehistoric, I'm thinking dinosaurs. Okay, I got you now. Yeah.
It could be dinosaur era. I think this could be like the Spartan era.
I mean, it could be like maybe something feudal Japan or something. Yeah, I get that. I mean, it could be, and it could be something interesting. But guess what? I have a PS4. If it, or if it's something really good and it piques my interest, I could get the PS5 or whatever the hell it's going to be out on. But you know what? How many people? I don't know if you guys get sent this shit a lot. I got sent the Metacritic score for Metal Gear 5 over and over again this week. It's like when the Sony ponies, whenever they're flapped up, it's a 93 or 94 or something.
Of course it did.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? When I'm not getting that, I'm still getting the Bloodborne Metacritic thrown in my face. Like, Jesus Christ, it's almost a year ago. You know what I mean?
What you should do? Say, all these people that throw the Bloodborne Metacritic score, say, please send me your trophy list. I'd like to see how you... Nobody's played that game. 32 million supposed owners of the PS4, and just 2 million have purchased it. Come on.
Oh,
hey, hey, is Jamie Moran honest here, dude? I know he's watching, so shout out to you. He's like, podcast unlocked this week. With Shenmue, Last Guardian, and Kojima, you need a PS4 if you're a gamer.
When he quotes things like that, Jamie's usually spot on.
Is he? I mean, did they really say that? Because, I mean, honestly, wow. I mean, Kojima game that's not coming out for 4 or 5 years, so you must have a PS4 now. Why? Shenmue not coming out for a couple years, so you need a PS4 now. Why? You know what I mean? I don't understand this at all. And
this is not going to be a PS4 game, man. I could tell you right now, it will be a PS5 game. It will be a historical game.
If it is a PS4 game, it's going to be a really low budget game. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way you can do a AAA game in 2 years from the ground up. I don't think that's going to happen.
And I think on top of that, like you're saying, they'll probably do the marketing for the game and probably crowdfund the game. I don't think
they could.
Kojima would want Sony to own the IP unless he really wants them to. I don't know.
I don't think so, because he's an independent studio, and after getting screwed over or whatever by Konami, like, who owns his...
No, but he has a contract with them. He has a partnership, kind of like how Insomniac had one with Sony before they were multiplat.
They're publishing it.
Kind of like what Bungie had with Microsoft, and well, they actually own their own Bungie, but
when they left, Steve Ballmer threw a chair because he was pissed off. But yeah, have you guys played Metal Gear 5?
No.
Nope.
Yeah, to me, that an old Metal Gear game would have been like, I would have been like, hell yeah, but 4 was really bad. They painted themselves into a corner, and then when you can only do prequel after prequel or whatever, like, that's just that's not good to me. Like, that's kind of stretching the story or whatever. It's the same thing with like God of War, which is a franchise that I like, but he's killed all the gods, so the only thing they could do is something like a different mythology now with different characters or whatever, and so probably would.
You do know that Metal Gear Solid 5 took them 6 years to make, and they had a studio behind it. They had developers, programmers, everything. But like,
hold on, Metal Gear 4 came out in 2007. Metal Gear 5 came out in 2015. So 8 years to make.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Now he's got a skeleton crew. Listen, a fellow follower here. We never shout this gentleman out. Ray Barada, who follows me on Twitter. He just made a good point. This man definitely works in some sort of corporate America. So let me just say this. He writes, when a CEO acts like Yoshida, it's an indication of panic. What's going on at Sony's despite sales? Like, basically what he's saying there is very true. You don't see Phil Spencer get irate on Twitter and make comments like that are snarky. Phil Spencer works for a $437 billion company. Yoshida works for a company that has $7 billion. So what I'm saying is
Phil Spencer has class.
That too.
Yeah.
That too.
Phil Spencer does have a lot of class.
But there is a bit of panic and distress when you see that Ryan McCaffrey let's just call it, he's a nobody. Okay.
Yeah.
And not that I'm somebody in the gaming world. He's a nobody in the gaming world, really. People give him the time of day because he's IGN, but as we found out when Greg Miller left, all they do is just do next man in line. The guy behind the camera now does a show called Up at Noon, which used to be Greg Miller's. So apparently anybody can do the job. It's not like they got rid of the show. They just put the next guy in line in. So, Ryan McCaffrey knows he's nobody. To come out and say that, and Yoshida, somebody that makes a lot of money, flies all over the world, okay, and represents a Sony brand, for him to jump down this guy's throat, who probably lives in a 500 square foot apartment in San Francisco. Like, that's ridiculous, and that shows desperation. You don't do that as a CEO of any company. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
And when you represent a company that has billions behind it, even though it's only 7, you have to understand. And I say that ridiculously, but when you're talking corporation, it's as ridiculous as the monetary difference in your neighborhood, okay? When somebody at the end of the street has that glorious mansion, you're like, I'm not driving down that street. That's Phil's house, okay?
Yeah.
Is living in that detached one-car garage with the apartment above it. That's billionaire difference in layman's terms. So, basically, Ray, good point. I got to shout you out for that because you just don't see something like that unless it's a desperate act.
Hey, I'm not a Yoshida guy, but you know what kind of annoys me is, like, yeah, we might be on the one extreme where we think there's a lot of media bias going on, but then there's, like, the Xbox fans that just believe that there's nothing negative or no bias, no nothing. Like, what was it? When we were upset about the Yoshida tweet, people were like, I seen some Xbox fans say, oh, well, Yoshida's, he's usually classy. Like, I've never seen him do anything like this. And I'm grabbing my hair. I'm, like, pulling it. I'm like, are you fucking serious? I want to do, like, a Steve Ballmer moment. Like, you're going to lose all our money. Like, I seriously want to yell at these people. Like, fuck, wake up. This is the schmarmy-ass guy who sat up there with fucking lesbian Ellen and was like, this is how you share a game. Right. And called Phil Spencer, quote, the only human working at Microsoft. And he's a classy guy? Get the fuck out of here.
That's not.
Literally, get the fuck. He's the guy that fall asleep in the fucking, you know what I mean? This guy is not classy. It's not class. There's nobody at Sony that I would say had. Jack Tretton had class.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I'm saying?
They don't have class, and they also don't have respect for their competitors as well.
They don't. They
Besides
just
class,
and,
they
and
don't
you
have
know
no
the
respect.
and you know what the funny thing is Microsoft doesn't even. I don't even think Microsoft is really competing with Sony. They're competing with like Google
Well,
and
I'm not saying
Apple.
yeah.
No, I
yeah,
hear
I'm
what
not
you're
saying
saying,
they're
Prince.
I'm just saying
Yeah.
they consider themselves competitors. That we're on top. So to them, and which is something that I don't understand. Well, I do, but I don't. Why do they think they're better than everybody else?
I guess because they have a few more sales or whatever. Which I mean,
But
at the end of the day,
I still haven't seen, Yoshida congratulate Phil.
Sales on what?
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, look, if you're a gamer and you're sitting there celebrating sales other than for entertainment purposes or to kind of like, look, I push buttons. It's what I do. I'll push buttons all day. There's probably people that be offended by something I said earlier in this podcast. Run away, say crap's racist, crap's this, mooch is this, crap's this. This is the funny thing. Earlier this week, somebody was like, crap and mooch are racist and this and that. But at the same time, they have no problems making fun of fags or trannies or calling people that or tards or this. You know what I mean? Like, and that just,
Or
putting,
Irish girl gamers, for that matter.
yeah, or you must be like or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They have no problem doing that shit or telling us to kill ourselves or take bleach or
Yep.
whatever. You know what I mean? Like I've heard that, but yeah, we're the bad guys. We're the racist or whatever because we sit there and speak our mind. Well, there's a little thing called freedom of fucking speech, and as long as I got that, I'm going to keep using that, whether you motherfuckers like it or not. And I think that's why I'm polarizing, and that's why you watch. Either you hate me or watch me. The funny thing is the people that love me might maybe watch me once in a while. The people that hate me watch me every goddamn day, and that's a fucking fact. You know what I mean? And I'll be honest. For the last 6-7 months, I probably haven't done my channel justice. It's difficult when you do content every day. I don't know if you guys know like how hard that is. It's it is kind of difficult. But I had stuff in my life that goes on, especially you work, you have a personal life, you have all this stuff that nobody else knows about. And so I have to admit, like, my content probably wasn't the best, but everybody stuck around and seems to enjoy it. And there's some days where I think, hey, I fucking knocked it out of the park. But are you guys familiar with the movie Happy Gilmore? Right? He's a hockey player, and then he plays golf, and he can drive that ball like a motherfucker, but he can't putt for shit. And that's like me, man. I could drive that ball like a motherfucker, right? But I can't putt for shit. But as far as I'm concerned, my internet was holding me back. Problem solved. I've upgraded. My computers hold me back. Problem solved as of Christmas. So you guys,
But
you know what I'm
crap,
saying?
we all have good and bad days when we put up our reviews or our comments or our podcast. We all have good and bad days. And if people say they don't, you can't hit everyone out of the ballpark.
Oh, I know.
Everybody's not gonna like everything.
I get that, but I'm just saying it's like, just as far as I'm concerned, and it's very difficult, like I said, to do something every day. But at the same time, I feel like that what I have to say is important. What we say is important, and if you don't like it, then don't watch. But like there's one extreme to the other. You know what I'm saying? I just, to me, like some of this stuff you just got to say. Like I don't get it. I don't get it. Like,
going back to that Kojima stuff right now, I just want to just quickly say that Microsoft, in my opinion, should really retaliate, and I think they should lock down Titanfall 2, or maybe even buy Remedy, lock down something, and they need to do it immediately.
Well, I'll tell you, Wolf. It's always fun to speculate. If we're gonna talk about that, the Titanfall thing holds a little bit of water because, like I said, you have to look at it. It has to make a lot of sense. Now, Remedy right now, there's no sense because we know Remedy takes a very long time to make games, and they don't even have their game out yet. So that's something that they can do, but that's not urgent. What is
once
urgent,
it becomes a first-party studio, Microsoft could add more manpower to it. You know what I'm saying?
But once you do that, you water the product down, Wolf.
That is a good point.
What you love is what they are. Once you start adding me and you in there because we were programming on another game, it's not Remedy. So what I'm saying is that if you acquire Remedy, leave them alone. Let them make their game. But Titanfall, the whole thing that Phil's trying to do right now is he's really trying to delicately walk on eggshells to bring Windows 10 and Xbox One together. Okay, he wants to bring this ecosystem together. Now, whether you like it or not, that's a different discussion. That's not
fucking hate it.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter, crap.
I know.
What they're gonna do is try and bring in Titanfall 2. Okay, Titanfall 2 marries both systems very, very well, and like I said, Right now, you've got every pony, every PS4 fanboy, anybody we want to call those guys. They all are drooling for Titanfall because it's something they couldn't have and they actually want. I really hope Phil hears like these comments that I've been making and others have been making, because what this is Titanfall is no longer a new IP. It's a household name. So investing the money is wise because you're going to do everything you've wanted since you sat in that seat. You're going to get Windows 10 and Xbox One to be able to play together. You're going to have a game that really would excel well on the PC, and it'll really excel well with like possibly cloud computing, etc., on the Xbox One. But in the meantime, what you really do is you're going to get a lot of PlayStation players to come over to Xbox because they're like, well, I'm not going to wait another 4 years. You know, so like they're going to go out and buy it, and they're like, what? Now they're going to take a game that I kind of like. Titanfall 2 has already been rumored by Vince Zampella to be amazing. So if they're bringing it to the next level, and here's what I'm saying, I'm only trying to do a little bit of detective work, okay? Phil's rumored, and we've seen pictures of him wearing the shirt with the Atlas on it.
Yeah.
You've got Vince Zampella making technical comments saying that this game is going to be much more superior. Well, we already know that on a very low scale, Titanfall, the original Titanfall, used cloud computing for the AI. Great, grand, wonderful. People are like, so what, Mooch? It makes no big deal. But if you're going to come out and listen, I work in the technical field. Once you come out and tell somebody that you're going to make a product that's more superior than what you just put out 4 years ago, it has to have more. By taking it off of the Azure servers, you're already demoting the game. You're not enhancing shit. Just because you can have another Titan come down or something else fun in the game happen, you're not technologically advancing the game. You're only doing that by utilizing more cloud computing. You know what I'm trying to say? So what I'm saying is maybe there's already something going on. Maybe this is the big bomb that Phil... Because remember, Phil does... We know the IPs that are coming in 2016, and we know a couple that are maybe being rumored to come out in 2017. But the one thing we don't know, we haven't had Phil come on stage or anybody come on stage since Gamescom 2014 and make the Tomb Raider announcement.
And think about this, Moose, right? They bought Havoc, and that's a big business engine, and that could be, part cloud-based, you know what I'm saying? So if they implement this somehow in Titanfall 2, along with the cloud, with the physics and the destruction, there you have it. And if you're going to take that away, you're downgrading the game.
Exactly. Yeah, I won't get it. If it is multi-platform, I won't get it. But let me ask you guys this about Titanfall 2. Would it make up for a lack of Street Fighter 5? Like, yes, for me, that would make up
definitely.
For it. I'm not even a Street Fighter fan, so that's like bonus for me because even if that game was on Xbox, I'm not buying it. So Titanfall 2
more than make up for it, man. More.
Yeah. Look,
it's a double bonus for me because I'm the Titanfall princess, so it's a double bonus for me besides the gameplay.
Hell
yeah. Exactly. And not only that, it seems like it would be a step back if they go to the EA servers instead of using the Azure servers. Like to me, it's such a smooth game on the Azure servers and the Microsoft servers. I think that's where it belongs. That's where it's at home. EA, like Microsoft, I love what they do, but they do seem to drop the ball a little bit this gen with the third-party marketing, or they picked poorly. You know what I mean? They chose poorly.
All right, let's just say, I want to ask everybody on the panel right here, including you, Titanfall Princess, if you're Phil Spencer right now, what would you do to retaliate to this whole Kojima thing?
I would show Recore. I would show something from Recore, to be honest with you. Maybe something.
I would make sure they secure Titanfall and all those other games and make those Sony ponies move right over to Xbox.
Yeah, do you know that prehistoric game?
Do whatever we can.
I'll say, do you know that prehistoric
besides
game?
Titanfall.
Do you know that game Ark Survival Evolved? That prehistoric game. They should have locked that.
Move them there. Lock them in.
Well, they already have that. They already have that though. They already announced it on PS4 though. So
yeah,
I'm not sure if there's contracts.
They should have locked that game up.
I mean, yeah, you know what? They probably should have. I haven't actually got to play it. I downloaded the developer gave me a code for it. I downloaded, but I haven't had a chance to play it because I haven't really been around much. But I hear really good things about it. I have people, my friends, that's playing it. I hear there's some issues with the servers, though. They're having trouble getting it, actually getting online with it or whatever. I'm actually going to try and cap some gameplay and stuff like that. I should be able to cap a lot more gameplay around the holidays again because I'm going to get a new PC. So, You know, there'll be a lot. I know a lot of people. Some people message me, "Oh man, we're tired of seeing the same stuff." Well, I'm a little bit limited by my PC from the Stone Age. You know what I mean? Like it's difficult. And when I was using I was using some random footage, and then people were hating it. You know, like, "Oh, you're a thief," blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Like, well, you don't want the same footage, but you want, but you don't want me to use what's considered fair use footage either. You know, it's like make up your mind. You know, to me, it's never what's been on the screen anyway. That's just like something to look at. Like. It's like these podcasts. It's like you're only looking at little icons. Who cares? It's what's coming out that matters. But I think Phil Spencer would be smart to hold off on the Titanfall announcement, do an Xbox 15-year anniversary thing early next year, and then announce that. Before E3. I would say right now, why not show off ReCore for a thing? You know what I'm saying? Why not do something like that? It's got a developer with a pedigree. Mega Man, the Dead Rising, Metroid Prime.
I also tweeted Phil Spencer earlier. I haven't heard back from him about another Ninja Gaiden.
Well, the thing with that is that series has kind of killed itself now. The last couple weren't great. But
I think they can do better if they know somebody. If they know we really want it and we support them, I think they may be able to do better.
Well, who was that guy?
Tagachi
or whatever the hell his name was.
Tagachi, yeah.
Yeah, he did Devil's Third. Oh my God, the wheels fall off that guy, right? Like seriously, he was he was a superstar. He liked Xbox, like originally. He liked the original Xbox because it was so powerful. And I remember Ninja Gaiden was only on that, and Dead or Alive Extreme and those games were only on Xbox. Because it was the most powerful and because you could do boob physics, like boop, 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 you know what I'm saying? Like, remember? Like, Xbox was the only one that was doing those. You could see, like, the bouncy, like, bouncy, bouncy, and so that's why those games were on the Xbox. Like, I still have them, like Dead or Alive. What is that volleyball game?
He was a king when it came down to breast physics, man. He really
that's exactly. It was like that game was breast physics. That's all it is. Is like, you know what I mean? And, like, people like those games because of that. I thought that was cool, but, are they even going to invest in the Japanese stuff? I don't even know if they will. But look, ReCore might do something like that because it is kind of a Japanese influence as well. So why not show something? Because that
kind of influence of Zelda as well, which is huge. You know what I'm saying?
And not only that, but that game is supposed to come out in the spring next year. So why isn't there gameplay? Like it to me? Some of the marketing is like suffering. Like they're doing exactly what the PS3 did last gen, and so are some of the Xbox fans, right? And I did a video about this, right? Like the Xbox fans like to go, "Hey, man, we're getting all these exclusives, yeah," but then they're not buying the exclusives. You know what I mean? Like they're not. And
I don't know why Microsoft is so secretive about this. If this is coming out in the spring, you should be promoting it right now. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and I felt the same way about Fable Legends. Like we all knew that was delayed because we hadn't heard shit about it, right? And here's the thing: that game's really good, but where they're messing up with this game is the way they're promoting it as just like this multiplayer game or MOBA kind of game.
Yeah,
when it's not. It's an RPG. You know what I'm saying? There's RPG. You've got quests and all this kind of shit. You can play it by yourself offline. You don't have to do that multiplayer stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, and people still think that it's not like a more traditional Fable game, and it's different, but it's still like an RPG.
It still has some RPG elements, and it's not just a MOBA.
Yeah, well, the MOBA is optionary. It's options.
Yeah.
And people don't realize that. I think that. People are a little bit, hey, man, we got to
but ReCore, we know that's coming, but, when it comes down to making a move or even a heavyweight move, what would you do? Because you said ReCore gameplay, but that's not really a retaliation in my eyes.
Well, to
retaliate, you really have to, you got to do something on the scale of the Titanfall. You've got to do something massive. I don't know how to do. Like, unfortunately, well, here's the thing. It depends on what Phil's thinking. Phil may think that the 7 new IPs he's got coming out are the big deal because he's like, well, I'm looking over at the competition. Competition has nothing coming out next year that's new. Horizon's not coming out next year.
Let me throw this at you guys real quick, okay? Launch was 2013. There's a couple of IPs that could probably have sequels out for next year. One being another Dead Rising game. One being another Rise game. Either one of those wouldn't surprise me as having sequels next year, announced and then coming out.
I actually personally think because we ain't really heard about ReCore and we ain't seen no gameplay, I just got a feeling that's going to be pushed back.
It could.
Yeah.
I mean, it could. Like you know.
Maybe summertime or maybe August.
Well,
Yeah.
like we've learned this, and if we learned this, I'm sure Phil's learned it. They can't go much further than August, because once you release something like a Recore in September, October, November, December, it gets eaten up by the AAAs, whether it be a mainstream AAA, something like Call of Duty, or a first-party AAA. They drown each other out. So Recore really should be a March, April, May release, maybe June at the latest, just before E3 launches. So Sony did that with The Last of Us in 2012, I think it was. When I never remember when The Last of Us came out, but they released The Last of Us a week before E3. And what it did was it was such a good game that it gave such positive buzz. So you have this game that was out, and then people were all at the show, and they're like, "Are you playing this?" "Oh my God, I am too." And it's just hard to talk it down when you have something so hot like that and fresh. So I think Recore needs to be that. If Recore comes out, nothing's usually ever released in July. So if it's any later than August, it's just detrimental to the brand. But then again, here's what I wanted to say. We're all talking about Recore. The one thing I always bring up Recore, because it does have the talent behind it and it has the funding. But the one thing I don't know is we don't know the complexity of this game. Since it has been announced short, maybe the reason we're not seeing it is it's maybe it's only a 10-hour game. Or maybe it's only this, or maybe it's only that. Maybe it's just an awesome game that's just not, this complex AAA. We don't know the severity of how important it is to. We don't know where it sits. Is my point.
We don't know the scale of the game. I really don't know the scale of the game.
And that's the point with Recore. I think from what I'm reading, and you see the articles, and I think it's going to be a future Game Informer highlight for a month. I think Scalebound is going to be Microsoft's new IP they're really going to push. I
hope they push that game, and I hope Xbox gamers kind of flock to that, because to me, and I'm not a Japanese, I don't like a lot of Japanese influenced games. Like, look, I love Dead Rising 3. I liked it, you know what I mean? And that was, to me, I like that. I like Metroid Prime or whatever. I like some, but to me, Scalebound looks interesting because it has the co-op, which I love. I love co-op stuff. And not only does it have the co-op stuff, but it also has like kind of an American influence with the, it's not like it's real-time fighting. I don't like that you go, I go traditional like JRPG shit. It's like more kind of Western influence or whatever, and I like that. So the only thing that I would say is Xbox gamers need to kind of step up. And although it's hard to tell what things actually sell these days,
because of digital,
because of digital, and it's such a like archaic way of judging that. You know what I mean? Hopefully, people understand that. Last gen was a good way. MPD was a good way to really tell what sold, because on Xbox 360 you didn't have games on demand same day usually. It wasn't until later that they were available digitally. Now we have digital. People are pre-ordering digital and things like that. Like, there should be a way to track these things or give out some numbers. Like, who was it? We were arguing with people on Twitter earlier, Mooch, about stuff, and this goes to kind of like the media bias. There's like all this is tied into YouTube and things like that too. Right. Where why is there no Tomb Raider stuff going on right now? And somebody who's an Xbox dude was like, well, that's kind of boring. There's lots of climbing and stuff. And I'm like, but what is the Order 1886? That was like 6 weeks straight of that shit. And that was the most boring piece of crap I've ever played in my life.
Bloodborne was a game of chess with a sword. Like, it was just 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. It was like when your opponent has a king left and you only have a rook. It was the most boringest game of all time, but yet it got 5 months of Let's Plays on Polygon. And this goes back to the first thing we were talking about tonight, and I have to reiterate it, is all I ask everybody that's listening is stop thinking that we're just the fanboys and this and that. A lot of the reason that I'm here, I can only speak for myself, I'll let the others speak for themselves, is that I'm here to call out what people are not seeing, which is the obvious. You can't tell me that Bloodborne was that stimulating. It's just Dark Souls 2.5. And Dark Souls didn't even get that much attention. Why would Polygon do 75 episodes, literally 75 episodes of Let's Play Bloodborne? You can't, and like, listen, Soccer Cars made $50 million.
Yeah. But when it comes out on Xbox One next year, you won't hear a word. You won't hear a word from it.
Nobody's gonna care. It doesn't matter.
Nobody cares.
Listen, let's put it this way. I made this analogy, and of course, nobody thought it was a good analogy. You have Garden Warfare, Plants vs Zombies came out for 9 months exclusive. Okay, it was 9 months to a year exclusive on Xbox. This just in, that game was way better than Rocket League.
Yes.
It was much more complex than Rocket League. Rocket League has been giving you a different color car and different color grass to drive on for the past 6 months.
Yeah.
And that game kept adding gameplay, game modes, different characters, different skins, different options completely through the game. And it got no respect at all when it was on Xbox One when PS4 couldn't have it. Because Rocket League was the only game on PlayStation from August all the way till the Uncharted collection, which did very poorly in sales, that game was praised and made all this money. And people are like, well, was that good, Mooch? It was that good. No, it was a lot of people. If you could poll a lot of people on PS4, they ended up getting it for 2 reasons. The media spoon-fed it down their throat every day for 6 months, and number 2, there was nothing else to buy.
Yeah.
So for $20, you could just.
Plus, it was the free PSN game, though, the first month it was out.
Yeah. For a month. But crap, it made $50 million by not being free. My point is that it made money because there was nothing else there. They spoon-fed it. And let's be honest, for $20, you could be in the in crowd, everybody. You could be the cool guy. You could start posting PS4 share of your car halfway dangling in the air with a soccer ball next to it. That's what happened, and I don't understand. For some reason, you were really cool, and you were in the in crowd for $20. So, that's what happened in that game. And so you had another game, which was $39.99, and then it dropped down to like $20 in Garden Warfare, and there was no good press at all because it was Xboxes. And, I'm glad Microsoft has some.
Well, they're making a movie about rocket cars, right?
Why not?
Yeah, why not, right?
Yeah, put them in the Hall of Fame. What the fuck?
Hey, them and Sony's doing, Ratchet and Clank, and I mean they're doing TV and movies and.
Yeah, sure. Ratchet and Clank, another game everybody was standing up at PSX lighting the match, fainting in the halls for, and it's just a remake of basically the first one. It's a whatever. Yeah. It's not a remaster. It's a redo. It's $40. Sony's the first person to gouge you, right? They're still asking for $59.99. I think they had a sale for $49.99 for The Last of Us. How dare you ask for fucking $49.99 for The Last of Us? That was their sale price. Are you crazy?
They gave that game away a lot this year.
Now they're asking for. My point being is, if they're still asking for $49.99 for The Last of Us remastered, then what do you think? A $40 game that's supposedly quote unquote a new game, Ratchet and Clank? You're probably getting a fucking 3-hour game.
I wouldn't doubt it.
It's $40. All I'm saying is Sony's been notorious this generation for gouging. Okay, no one's calling them out on it. Why would they? I'm the only one that sees that. You're asking for a PS3 game that was remastered, nothing new added to it. You're actually charging $1 per skin for the multiplayer. Talk about microtransactions and all that other shit, and you're talking about still $50. Like, give me a break. So now if they're giving you a game next year for $40, it's going to be half or a third of a game.
Don't forget the donations you made to make it too.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
Hey, that is more than true. And we'll be the first ones to say, like we attack the media a lot. A lot of people are like, hey, they got the tinfoil hats on and shit and all this kind of stuff. But what about this, right? Third-party timed exclusive deals. It is. Third-party timed or exclusive deals are perfectly fine on PlayStation, but not Xbox, right? Like, remember the blowback for Tomb Raider, right? And I think part of the reason we're not seeing a lot of Tomb Raider stuff is because these people didn't like this deal that Microsoft got it, right? So we're not seeing. I think that's part of the reason why we're not seeing a lot of Tomb Raider hype. And my thoughts will be completely confirmed next year if at the Game Awards, Rise of the Tomb Raider is on the Game of the Year list for PS4. You know what I mean? I mean, if you start seeing that being talked about as Game of the Year category because it's on PS4, when it didn't get any thoughts of that as an Xbox One game, right. Again, confirmed. We can only.
Can they
once
really
again bias? Once again bias. I made a lot of videos about that. And I'm told I'm wrong, and I'm told I'm wrong all the time. No, I'm not. Every day it's proven. Every day it's proven.
Well, they can look. It'll be like a complete edition or whatever, right?
Complete edition.
Yeah, I mean that's what it'll have the DLC.
like Xbox isn't complete, right? Xbox editions are never complete. Oh, it's only
well,
when
we have to
it's
buy the DLC. You know what I mean? Like they'll have all the DLC for free and stuff. Probably be like what, a $30 or $40 game. But it'll be like Redux or you know what I mean, or complete
when it
or
comes to
definitive.
Sony, you're not. When it comes to Sony, they're gonna get you sooner or later. There's nothing for free on Sony.
No, let me tell you
Well,
something,
I'm
right?
sorry.
Let me tell
There's
you something.
nothing.
Like, you know
There's
when
nothing free on Sony.
when you go to a grocery store, right, and you buy a frozen pizza, right? It has an expiry date, right? Am
expiration
I
date,
correct?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So once that date comes into play, and once it's past its date, you don't want to eat it no more. It's irrelevant. Same thing with Tomb Raider. Next year, nobody's gonna give a shit about Tomb Raider. Besides a few of the Sony guys, it's not even gonna sell. But it will get nominated for Game of the Year. I could see that.
Yeah. It probably will. Look at Jeff Keighley, right? He's that asshat that posted that, what was that? Some game. Remember that with Jeff Keighley and Kojima? Mooch, what was that?
Yeah.
What game was that he was holding?
Metal Gear Solid 5. He signed
Metal.
the game. He signed the game and gave it to him. I mean, the favoritism is in every picture. You can catch it on Twitter all day long.
Yeah. It's just unbelievable. Hey, did you guys get your there's this thing you can do your year in review on Xbox Live. I seen it just going around. You can click on it and then it takes you to your year in review.
Yeah,
It's pretty cool. Apparently, whether it's good for good or bad, I spent 5,500 hours gaming on Xbox Live last year, so that's cool. Yeah.
right.
Or does it give you your stats on how long you've been gaming on Xbox?
Well, over this past year, yeah, like it's your year in review. Like, on average, it tells you like what your friends did, what the community did. My gaming hours placed me in the top 1% of all Xbox players worldwide. My gamer score puts me in the top 1% of Xbox players worldwide because I had almost 20,000 gamer score this year alone on Xbox One. I unlocked 1,003 achievements.
Is this a preview thing only, or is this a...
No, like you could just go to the site. It's on Twitter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like I'll tweet it out after the show too. My most played game was Rise of the Tomb Raider. My achievements placed me in the top 1%. It tells you your valuable achievement. It's really nice, actually. Like, this is really pretty damn cool.
I don't know if y'all talked about this, but the Xbox One Elite controller, like Microsoft are having problems, having these in stock, having it available, and every time they reach the store and they have more shipments, it's already sold out before it hits the store. You know what I'm saying?
Someone
crazy,
tweeted me because I've been looking for one. They're like, hey, this one's, I've been trying to win one too. Hey, Mooch, I was trying your tactic and trying to mooch them.
Yeah.
But, no fucking luck. Because people are like, yo, crap, they got them in stock on Amazon. I go there, fucking sold out. You know what I mean? They're like, hey, crap, there's one over here. Hey, I appreciate you guys telling me when these things are in stock and shit, but by the time I get to them, man, it's like sold out. You know what I mean? You want to go on a waiting list or this? Hell no, I don't want to go on no waiting list.
Yeah, but this is the thing. It's just not Xbox gamers buying it. You have PC gamers buying it, and you also got Sony gamers buying it.
Yeah, because they have that fucking adapter.
They have that adapter, and they're obviously not happy with that DualShock shit 4 that they have, because the rubbers keep falling off the controller, so they want to buy the Elite.
That thing's a paper champion, man. That DualShock 4, man, I feel like I'm gonna break it every time I touch it because those nubs just feel like
the nubs are the worst part of it.
They're terrible.
Break off easily. It's I think Blackie did a show where he went to his local GameStop and showed that the one that's used by the public, and they went over and looked at the Xbox One. I've had no problems with my controllers at all. Like I said, I do wish that both the DualShock and the original Xbox One controller came, and the ones we all got was a little bit. They were both better made as far as the whatever plastic or polymer, whatever they used there. I wish they made that one a little bit better. But as far as now with the Elite is now the new standard. So everybody, people who are like, oh, I don't think I'm going to get it till maybe later. People aren't even waiting till Christmas. If they see it, they're just buying it now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Blackie Lebowski.
Hey, Blackie.
Yo, what's up? I was playing that Sunset Overdrive.
You're late.
We really
You're late, Blackie.
I've been playing Sunset Overdrive, and I tell you what.
Even
guys,
I was on time this time.
All kinda.
Late.
Wolf was online with me, and I was like, Wolf, let me know whenever you get a message, man. I'm playing Sunset Overdrive, completely cracking out, and I'm like, oh shit, it's like an hour later. And I'm telling you, the Xbox is some good games.
Hey, is this the first time you played that game?
No, I played. I had crap. I'm serious. I did a video a long time ago. I had 30 plus hours in the first 48 hours of the game's release. That's no joke. I played this game so much, and then the Master Chief Collection came along, and of course, everybody's playing that shit and Horizon, and then speed forward a little bit, and it's like Halo 5's here and Forza 6. Really, there's so much games for the Xbox One. It's kind of
and
crazy.
Battlefront. I know I've seen you on Battlefront a lot, man. And it's like, that's what my friends are playing a lot now. It's like Battlefront, and then Halo 5 just come out with a bunch of content for free, which none of these sites are really talking up. Like all this content that just came out on the Halo 5.
No, that's not good at all.
See, Blackie, this is the thing, Blackie. Like, Sunset Overdrive is a great game, but we have so much options as an Xbox gamer. Like, unfortunately, the Sony guys, I wish I could say the same. And, that Sunset Overdrive that you're playing right now, it has more replay value than every Sony game combined, and that's a fact.
That's a fact. And a lot of people
Definitely agree. Facts.
Crazy, and they say we're crazy because we say stuff like that, but I don't know, as a gamer, as somebody who's really passionate about it, who's played Nintendo games, PC games. In my last video, I showed a list of all the downloads of the PlayStation Network from PS3. I've supported all this shit, man, and really, I've never ever had so many fucking exclusives that there's too many options, and that's literally what's going down right now. Like Wolf said, it's a good game, but we have all these options. And I've never seen this many options on a console, and they're even expanding. You got Crackdown, Scalebound. And I'm sorry to get off topic. I just kind of jumped in, so I don't know what you guys are talking about. But we
were talking about Kojima at first, man. So what's your take on that, by the way, man?
On what now?
Kojima.
Hideo Kojima signing with Sony.
The guy with the chopsticks. Kojima.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think Sony needs as much help as they can get. Honestly, like, it's not that I hate Sony and PlayStation. I hate what they have become. And Kojima, back in the day, Metal Gear was one of those big flagship games on the PlayStation that really set it apart. So, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, we need Kojima's games and shit, because if you we're just sitting here talking about how much games we have. So I'm glad that things are at least something's happening over there, because if you look at the entire situation. I remember Mooch was just talking about the Elite controller. Like, we're up on the Xbox is up on the PlayStation with the network, a controller, exclusives. It's not just one or two things. It's a multitude of things. So they need something, dude. Because VR, what they showed, it was disastrous. Like the PlayStation experience. So more power to them.
Well, yeah, look, VR doesn't translate well in these shows, like E3 or any of these events, because we can't see it at home. It was the same thing with 3D when they used to try to show that shit off, right? It just looks like normal shit to us. It's like Kinect didn't really kind of show that well either at these events, and I guess it's like that's not a real hardcore thing. But if Sony thinks that showing these waving the dildos around and putting that crap on your face, like those aren't compelling things to watch. And I actually hope they do a lot of VR stuff at E3, because it's just going to make Microsoft's look even better, But I'm sure Sony will try to come out with something, because think about it. They've been hyping, and we talked about this like a week or two ago on this podcast. They've been hyping Uncharted 4 since the launch of the PlayStation 4, right? Yeah. That thing's going to come out before E3. What's their next big game? Because their next big block, their two biggest or three biggest is like Gran Turismo. They're not going to get a true Gran Turismo next year. They're getting that online World Tour, whatever the hell. It's just basically them trying to get something out, because they're getting straight up Microsoft is bending them over the knee at this point. Here's a Forza, here's Forza 5, Forza Horizon 2, Forza 6. Next year will be Forza Horizon 3. Seriously, they're leaving welts on Sony's ass, man. They are, because the only game that racing game that Sony's got out has been Drive Club, Disaster Club. That fucking studio is closed down for all intents and purposes. You know what I'm saying? Like, they laid off everybody. They're not doing any more games. They're quote unquote a service now. So basically, their whole job is just kind of placating and adding little shit here and there to that game that was so horrible, and it's basically shit that should have been there at launch.
Yeah, we're
You
not
know?
yes men. We're not yes men or anything like that. Sometimes we don't even
No, I
agree.
know.
But
Hey,
would you?
hey.
No, but no. Listen, hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. But would you agree one thing? That Sony's first party studios are dying right now. They're becoming extinct.
Yes.
They're
Like
the
the
worst.
dinosaurs.
They're the worst of the big three right now. Sony, hands down, has the worst first parties studios, hands down, out of the big three. And even Yoshida said that first parties struggle when you're the leader or whatever, blah blah, whatever bullshit spin that that man tries to put on shit. But yeah, and guess what? They picked a hell of a time to not to be really shitty, because they used to have really good ones just last gen. They were doing really good games. I don't know
Yeah,
what
but
the fuck happened.
the best studios out there have just been acquired. You know what I mean? Naughty Dog, Sony Bend, Guerrilla Games. You know what I mean? Media Molecule. I could just name them. Only ones that they built from the ground up, I'd say, is Sony San Diego. They make baseball, which just 20 people just buy that game. You know what I mean?
Is this that
Sony-
100-foot robots thing, Mooch? Are you watching this thing on Twitter that Jamie Moran just posted?
I'm just looking at
Yeah.
the GIF he sent there. It says demolish.
Why does that game look like a PS1 game? I don't get it.
Well, it's a little bit it's compressed here, so I mean it actually doesn't look that bad. As the game's terrible, but I mean it actually looks better than that. I think when it's.
Oh, you're just being a PlayStation apologist, bitch.
Yeah, I'm joining the crew because it's cool. So,
Hey, I called somebody that today. Like
I
I was
know.
just
No
like,
apologizing and no more props to them.
yeah.
No.
Well, I don't, man. Hey,
listen,
did
I
you
said
see
this.
Mike Ibarra piss me off yesterday, right? Well, I wouldn't say piss me
Oh,
off,
no,
but
yeah.
did you see that tweet about David Jaffe?
Yeah.
I was listen to Mooch. He's like, yes.
That pissed me. I gotta be honest with you, Mike's actually. I'm a big fan of Mike's. I think the
I
work
am
he does is
too.
fantastic. But just to see that is just. I don't know. Like I'm old school, man. When you come into our neighborhood and you talk shit and you're an asshole and you run the other team. Listen, I'm not going to necessarily just be mean to you, but I'm certainly not going to give you any praise.
Hey, if I'm Microsoft, man, I'm charging Sony for walking down my street, man. I'm like, hey, you got to pay the toll, bitch.
I mean,
You know?
he's sitting there and he's saying, "Way to
There's
go."
only one thing I got.
great
There's
team.
only one thing I gotta say. No apologies. Remember, this is Xbox Nation.
It is.
Xbox Nation. No apologies to no one.
But, I mean, David Jaffe, of all people, he's doing some fucking flipbook game.
Yeah, it's just
A
corny
flipbook
game.
game.
Where was Adam Boyes? Where was Adam Boyes or somebody that to thank Microsoft and be like, wow, that was amazing to see that you guys came out with Ori and you won awards and nothing. I mean, you don't get anything. So why bother? I mean, why even bother with the compliment? Like that's something I may go to the grave and not understand. I don't really get what. And I understand, Mooch, you have to be not. Here's the thing, you actually don't have to be nice. They're competing. Like nobody in the Olympics on the American team goes over and shakes the Japanese hand before they fucking race. I mean, nobody does that. I don't understand. I mean, it doesn't matter what level of competition you want to bring this to. There's just never so much one-sided goodness that I've ever seen from. And don't get me wrong, Microsoft is just so big. They are so big that I wonder if I don't necessarily know if they really care about they care about their product, but I don't know if they care about the competition like we do. I don't know if it's necessarily even something they even talk about. I don't know because you don't see it, And if we didn't see anything from them, I'd say, well, you know what? Internally, they talk about it, but they can't externally. But when you see these tweets, Sony sold 1 million Bloodborne, and Phil's like, congratulations, that's not easy to do. And then you see Mike Ibarra and be like, way to go, Jaffe. You're we haven't seen you do shit in 7 years, but Yahtzee.
I don't get it, man. Microsoft, they're a behemoth, man, and I just don't get it. Why they go out their way, praising Sony like that. I still haven't seen one tweet from Yoshida saying congratulations on your Halo 5 launch. Still ain't seen it.
Nope.
And we're not going to see it, all through next year. We're not going to see it.
No,
You
you
know what I
won't.
Well, okay.
You're breaking up.
Am I? Yeah, my
No,
computer.
you're good. You're good now. You're good now.
Okay, yeah, my computer decided to spike there for a second. Don't worry, bitches. Very soon, new PC. So, like the whole thing with the David Jaffe thing. This guy created God of War. He created Twisted Metal. and he's doing indie type games, and that's Sony's main problem this generation. You've got big developers, but they're working on shoestring budget games, and how can anybody really be happy with that? I'll never really understand it. You know what I mean? It'd be like having Rod Ferguson and that Gears team working on fucking flipbook game. Like we would be pissed off about that.
Jackie had a short little video on YouTube, and I actually watched it. It was maybe like 6 months ago, and it was a tour of his. It was just a Q&A with him in general. It wasn't a Sony-based thing that I'm aware of. But listen to the games you just said: Twisted Metal, God of War. Now he's making this flipbook black and white game, and like the point I'm trying to make here is when they showed his studio, it was like a loft, a little tiny loft. I think it was San Fran, but it could have been Boston. I don't remember where he's located out of. But it's a little thing. He had one room had like 2 people with a computer, and then the other room showed another person in a computer, and then there was an office where he was working. He's only got, unless they were, like I said, they didn't do a panorama, but it was a very small, confined space. I think he's only got 3-4 people working with him on this project, which makes sense. It's not a big game. We know it's not a very big game, and we also know it's taking for fuck ever to come out. So you put the two together, this is a guy that worked with probably 200 people, maybe 100 people on those other previous titles, and now he's working with 5. So, I mean, Sony's broke. And a lot of people say, Mike, you can't really say that anymore. To be honest with you, man, they're broke.
I just hardly see, like, any of these videos from, like, Naughty Dog or, Sony Santa Monica or any of these first-party studios, even, like, Sucker Punch, where they're actually doing a documentary about their games and they show passion. I don't see no passion. Like every time you see the Coalition, Rod Ferguson, Josh Holmes from 343, Barney Ross, I could go on and on, like Darren Greenwald from Turn 10. When they're doing their interviews and doing a documentary on their games, you see the passion when they're talking about their games. I don't see that on the Sony side. And Sony Santa Monica, what have they done? Hokum, Fat Princess, Zombie Taxi Company or whatever it's called. They're making indie games, yo.
Taking naps.
Hey, man, it's really a shame.
Taking naps during Gamescom.
They had a lot of good stuff at one point.
And Yoshida, one second. I want Yoshida to play Bloodborne with me, man. When I get if I ever get a PS4 game, because I know Phil plays games with me. Yoshida, where you at, bro?
I don't know where he is. What's he been doing?
I don't know, man. I want him to play Bloodborne with me, man.
I don't think he can. Does he? I mean, no, in all honesty, I don't think he can play. And I'm dying. I would love, literally improv. I would do this if we go to E3 and I see Sean Layden. I would literally take a PS4 controller. I'd say, Sean, can I just interview for a quick second? I want to talk to you, and have him come over a little bit closer and egg him over. And then I'd be like, here's The Witcher 3, because it's a complicated. Take this with a grain of salt, people who are listening. This isn't just a button smasher. You actually have to navigate around. Sean, do me a favor. Just play like this is on easy. Could you just play this for a minute? And he's going to be like, take the camera off me for a minute. I said I would do an interview. No, Sean, play the game. You're the president of CEO or whatever the fuck you are of Sony. Play this game. He doesn't play shit. You can see he doesn't know what he's talking about. He came out with a Crash t-shirt that he bought at Walmart 15 minutes before the show launched. The tag was still on it. It was ridiculously embarrassing, man. Like it's just so funny. Like why can't you don't ever emulate? Like I said, I'm a Mets fan, but like the Yankees, the New York Yankees in baseball, okay? They don't kiss ass to anybody because they're the best. These guys here come out and they try to mimic Nintendo's actual technology. They mimic Microsoft's technology. They had to put a camera in there, which is funny. People still making fun of Kinect, yet the Sony Eye is for sale and nobody even owns one. Nobody. Yeah. And then you try to imitate the CEO of Xbox coming out with a gaming T-shirt and a blazer. Get the fuck out of here. Like, come out with your own shit. You guys were all coming out with suits 3 years ago. You knew you looked stiff and stupid. Now you got Adam Fatboy Boys wearing a mohawk and a fucking T-shirt. You know what I mean?
Mohawk.
You know what I mean? He
looks like Les. He looks like...
Did you guys see the guy they brought on stage? Did you see the guy they brought on stage that's the Vita guy wearing a hockey jersey and a fucking artsy hat backwards? Who the fuck are you? Like
they're trying to look cool. Yeah, they're trying.
Yeah, but you can look cool. That was cool when the Beastie Boys released their second album. That's not a look today. Who the fuck is walking around with a hockey jersey and a hat backwards, except for that guy that does Comic Book Men?
I have no idea.
The guy
You know
from
what?
Mallrats. He's the only guy that does it.
Because you know what, this is what happens, right? Microsoft is actually they turn things around despite like losing last month or whatever. That's fine. They did, like, Phil Spencer's done a really good job turning things around. They've got kind of this cool factor. Phil Spencer has like this kind of like Steve Jobs thing going on where he goes out there and, you know what I mean, and he looks relaxed, and it's like you could tell he's a gamer and stuff. And Sony is so stiff, you know, like they got that Japanese kind of thing where they're like, and that's how they are. They're really stiff like that, and then so you can see that they're trying to be more appealing, like how Microsoft is, where they're more laid back and things like that. It just doesn't work. It looks awkward, and even Yoshida's like, I don't know why he wore that Crash shirt. You know what I mean?
No,
Like,
he needs to go to the gym if he wants to wear that T-shirt, man. It look
yeah.
awful. At least Phil Spencer, the dude was in shape. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, Phil Spencer's the man, dude. That man's buff.
He's a fucking beast, yo.
The fucking little Asian dude who come out like for the Street Fighter 5.
What's his name? Ono or whatever the hell his name is?
That dude from The Hangover, man, with a little penis, man. Like, like, way too much energy, bro. Like, what the fuck? He like throwing Haryukens and shit. They ain't got no gameplay. He gonna do the Yuken for you, man. He got shit to show you. He gonna do that shit himself. It's man. I think Sony. At this point, for me, it's like I don't even mind. I don't even mind what they're doing because I'm really happy with the Xbox One. I wish they had a Warhawk. I wish Jaffe was working.
They said no to SOCOM.
And crap, I was gonna talk about this because the emulation on the PS4 is such bullshit. Because a lot of people were outraged that SOCOM 2 wasn't that game that at least you're gonna fuck us, give us some lube. You're gonna charge us $15 for games that we might already own and whatnot. But if you're gonna do that, I mean, give them fucking SOCOM 2. If any game needed to be redone on the PlayStation 4 or emulated or whatever the fuck from the PlayStation 2 days, that is SOCOM. That's what turned a lot of people's heads back in the day when because whenever I was in the military, man, whenever that SOCOM commercial came on and those niggas was going up in that cabin and they were fucking shit up, that was like, oh, that was pretty cool, man.
They had Goldberg from Mighty Ducks. I remember he was like the chubby one or whatever, and that was really cool. Like they had their little headsets on and they were communicating. I dug that. Like I used to play SOCOM 2. I thought it was really fun. I love online gaming, and that was a really good online game. But where's that stuff at now? It seems like they put out stuff like Bloodborne, Infamous, these games that don't have any kind of, or The Order. Like they're making you pay $60 for these games that have absolutely no replay value because once you beat them, they're done. They're Redbox games. That's what I call them because you can Redbox them for a day and then you beat them and then you save yourself $58.
Yeah, like Blaze said, you get it.
Was quick, he said like fans were asking like what's up with the SOCOM, and his response was like, sorry, no plans for it. It was very, very blunt and very, it just no energy there. There was nothing like, okay, we want to do this for the fans. We're listening. We hear that you want a SOCOM. It was just like, nope.
Yeah, arrogance, man.
Arrogance and being fucking naive. That's what it seems like to me. Because they have a chance. Like the PlayStation 4, they've gained back a bunch of market share. You know what I'm saying? Like with the 360, it took a lot of shit from the PS2. Like that thing was huge. 360 comes along, and the PlayStation, they lose a lot of the market share. And the PS4, they've had every chance in the world to get this shit back, man, with fucking games and like the backwards compatibility, like adding SOCOM and all this shit, and they just don't want to do that shit. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, let me just put it like this, guys. You have people bashing the Kinect and everything like that, right? But they're praising VR and shit. But the thing is, who's gonna buy this VR shit? I cannot really see it I cannot really see it selling 2 million or even 3 million. Nobody's gonna buy that shit.
This is what's gonna happen.
30 million sold. I could seriously tell you that maybe 700,000, 800,000 probably gonna buy it. You know
Well,
what I'm saying?
they predicted what 1.5 million or something like that for the whole year next year, and I think that's on the high side because at the end of the day, some people like even people we might know like Next Gen, he likes buying new shit, right?
It's the fact that he likes gadgets, right?
Yes, exactly. Worry Ward.
Yeah.
He'll buy it. Will they buy it? Will they play it a long time? Fuck no. You know what I'm saying?
they're
These
not.
people,
They're not.
nobody's gonna play this shit.
No
more
one's gonna
than,
have that shit. But let me tell
Yeah.
you something. People were bashing the Kinect, but yet that broke the Guinness Book of Records.
It did. It sold
22 million sold, right?
Yeah, like right within a certain amount of time or whatever. Yeah, it ended up selling close to 30 million or whatever it was. Pretty damn impressive.
See, this is what Sony think. They're gonna get those Kinect numbers, and let me tell you something. They're not.
Kinect was $150. This VR is going to be like $300 to $400. So
the price point, man, is just not there, man.
Hey, people bitched about the Kinect price originally, right? Just imagine with the VR, but you won't see, no matter how expensive this stuff is, you will not see a negative media slant for that. Like, I know that this was a joke article that I kind of saved. I forget, what was it, like Video Gamer or some shit, and the guy's like, what the hell is that? Doritos Crash Course, backwards compatibility, and some other junk, right? Yeah. Like, and I guess it was just an in-joke because he really actually liked that game, and you know what I'm saying? But to me, that seemed like a legit article because that's something that we've seen, right, guys? I mean, we've seen. It wouldn't be too crazy to actually see something like that, you know, like them making fun of the other games. And like, granted, like Ironwolf, I know that you weren't too happy with the list, right? I get that. You know, for me,
I'm over it now, man.
Yeah, well, like the backwards compatibility stuff was always just like kind of an added thing for me. Like, it's the holidays, like they have all these threats of DDoS going down on Christmas. They're gonna have millions of new people sign on to Xbox Live for the first time on Christmas. You know, they've got and it's the same team that's handling this stuff. So it's like they've got all this shit on their plate. And I'm hoping, you know, after the new year they'll have a more set schedule. You know, maybe release your games every 15th or whatever. But I'm up.
Here's my thing. Let me piggyback on that crap because you make a good point. And Wolf, I do understand I saw your concern, but my point is this: not to remention what Crap said. That team's got a lot on their shoulders. But and Blackie said it a minute ago too. We have so much to play right now. I can't, even if they came out, even if Mike Ibarra was like, surprise, 700 games, I would be like, thanks, and I would move them all to the left. I don't need to play 360 games right now. Like, I have way too much fucking Xbox. I literally, as I'm sitting here doing this, I had two friends just hit me for Destiny. Another person said, are we doing Halo tonight or what? And another person just said, is Rainbow Six on tonight or tomorrow? Like, there's so much shit to play right now that, like, I can't even fathom playing Fable 3. Like, could you imagine all the shit I have in there? And then I'm like, you guys turn it on, you're like, let's see what Mooch is doing. What the fuck? He's playing fucking like Death Star 18? Why the fuck? I mean, who cares? You know, I mean, like, my point is like, I know what you're saying. You were saying the hype came out in July, and this was a valid point. You said the hype comes out in July, and I'm looking forward to this. And so far, we've gotten just kind of like the very bottom of the barrel. And you're right, to a certain degree.
This is the thing. This is the thing, right? It's just that they were real secretive about the list, and they kind of like, you know, delayed the announcement for that list for a very long time. Mm-hmm. I kept waiting and waiting and waiting. And I'm going to use one of Mooch's analogies. Is suppose you're in a restaurant and you ordered the finest steak. That's been told by, you know, word on the street that that's the finest steak at that steakhouse. Mm-hmm. You go there, you make your order, and you're waiting. Once it arrives, it tastes like dog shit.
Yeah.
That's how it was, that list. That's how I felt, and it left a bad taste in my mouth. But I'm over it now. I'm good.
To be honest with you, Wolf, this isn't a point the finger at you conversation at all. This is just a backwards compatibility thing. I think Crap said it best in one line, and I'm rambling. Is just that it's really just the cherry on the top. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, it's really whatever they give us, that's just gravy, because we have so much. Like, I kind of feel bad right now. There's other games that I was actually thinking of picking up, some things that are coming up on sale that I'm like, oh wow, that entices me, but I'm like, damn. Is this just like last year I did this? I grabbed Dragon Age Inquisition. I have not even literally. I downloaded it for like $25. It was, I mean, that's a great deal for that game. One game of the year too.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I swear to you on everything holy, I have not even hit the pin, the diagram. I haven't even opened the game.
Because you've signed a lifetime contract with The Witcher 3. That's why.
That's correct.
Hey, this is something that people need to hear, man. Because, you know, Wolf just said something. Moose just said something. Wolf was saying something about you know, the list left a bad taste in his mouth, and Mooch said something about gravy. So let's talk about this, man. The PlayStation VR.
that's a terrible segue.
No, that's
gonna get crazy. All right, there's a good thing about the PSVR, man. There's a good thing. Many Sony ponies talking shit in your comment section, my comment section. Like I said, a bad taste in your mouth, gravy. It got me thinking, man. They gonna have that headset on. You know the people who sit around playing games, watching movies. They got their mouth open. And they fucking these Sony ponies. They're gonna be. They might be getting their mouth skeeted in, dude, with these VR headsets.
Oh my gosh, dude. Oh.
So, hey, man, it's a good thing. It's a good thing for the PlayStation.
Hey, how long before a lawsuit though? Because I remember I threw a Wiimote when the Wii came out. Like I fucking chucked that thing playing like I was like playing something on that Wii Sports. Fucking threw the thing, almost broke my TV. You know what I'm saying? Like how long before someone like punches somebody or falls into something or hurts himself? You know what I mean? This is gonna be like a disaster. And actually, I'm kind of worried because I think that the better that Sony does, that makes Microsoft do even better. You know what I mean? I like that.
Sorry to cut you off. Even retailers are not even confident in this fucking VR shit. There was a few articles that I read that they cannot really see it take off like that, like they did the Kinect.
Yeah, like I don't see, and developers are, you know, you're not going to get AAA games with this thing. Let's be honest, it's going to be party games and stuff like that. I don't see like anybody that's going to really like run out to buy this damn thing for any real specific reason or anything like that. I think that it's a fad. Sony's taking a chance with this. It's a stopgap thing. It's going to be a short generation. Hopefully,
they're putting all their resources into this thing. I seriously don't get it. Like, why the hell you be doing that? Like, you know, put that money towards your IPs and everything. Make a new Siphon Filter, The Getaway, you know, Twisted Metal. You know, I said Siphon Filter. I said Legend of Dragoon. You know, bring those games back. I just don't understand. You know?
For the Sony fanboys, man, trust me. They want to cover your eyes and put something over your ears for a reason.
I want my old school. I'm telling you, I want my old school games. I don't want to be waiting for this so-called greatness, man.
That was the best thing I've heard all night. Was Sony wants to cover your eyes and ears for a reason, and that's 100% accurate. That's 100% accurate. I did want to talk about one other thing. Destiny, right? Like nobody's really talking about this, and I don't know why. $30 pay to win to level up Destiny characters into $30. I mean, does anybody else see a problem with this? I know maybe none of us here are big Destiny fans except for Mooch because he's a hypocrite. But
hey, listen, no, look, I can do this. Okay, basically, a lot of people that do play it in my office, and we were all talking about this. The Taken King really should have been Destiny 2, but that's why I actually like it. I like what they did after the first year. The vanilla Destiny was for people who literally just had nothing else to do, because that game, the way that the level up system went and the way that they were spoon feeding things out throughout the year, I didn't find entertaining at all. But no, what you're asking about is this $29.99 to actually revamp or bring a character up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's first of all, that's gouging. I would never pay that. I won't pay that. I mean, I will say this much. Okay, you know this as well. I'm on record as saying that I have no issues with microtransactions at all. I think they're up to the consumer. You know, I mean, we will all walk by a million SKUs a day when you're at your local grocery store or Target or you go to the mall. There's a million things dangling with a price tag in front of you. You just walk by it. This is just something else with a price tag in front of you. Now, they give you the option. I think that option is much more appealing at maybe $10, because I'm telling you right now, I have brought up one character to full, and I've got my vanilla character that is at almost like 38 out of 40. And here's the point I'm trying to get at. For $10, I wouldn't mind getting the third one started and getting me that little bit of a bump up, because even with the bump up, it still takes about 40 hours to get you up to whatever the full max is 4310. To get up to that right now, that takes a long time. And someone like me who's playing 4 other games and only gets maybe an hour and a half every other night, that takes a long goddamn time.
Yeah.
So now, like I said, I'm not going to pay $30. That's half of a full retail game just for a guy to level up. Get the fuck out of here. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But for $10, I guess it's something that someone would consider. And only somebody who's played Destiny would understand what I'm saying. If you're not into Destiny, even $10 is too much. But
Yeah,
Yeah,
shout out to Jamie Moran. He actually brought a good point about
he's a big time fan too. Yeah, the
like I
external.
said, look, the external processing unit, for the actual.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying. I sent out a tweet the other day that said basically the Xbox continues to get shit for having a power brick that hides behind your entertainment center, but this processor is the size of a Wii and it has to hang off of your belt loop.
Does it have to hang off your
Hold
belt
on.
loop?
Well, no, it doesn't have to hang off your belt loop, but it has to be around you. It has to be somewhere near you.
Really?
Well, think about it for a second, guys. They're not going to give you a 60-foot cable. It's going to have maybe a 9-foot cable or a 6-foot cable. It's going to have to. You're going to be standing up while you're playing VR, and it has to be somewhere within your. It's not going to be where you hit your foot, but it's going to be somewhere within your bubble of space, like we learned in high school. Okay, so wherever your bubble of space is that someone shouldn't be intruding, that Wii U processor-sized unit will be in your bubble of space. So I mean. No, it will not be dangling on stage when they do these tech demos. I think it's either hanging on the back or it's down. They have an extended cable. But my point is, this thing has to be somewhere. It has to be somewhere in your vicinity.
Is that the power unit? Yeah, that's the power unit.
It's the processor. It's the processing unit.
It's the processing unit. You can't play it without it. My point is this: you have a 3-foot cable or not even. It's like a 2.5-foot cable to recharge your DS4. What do you think they're going to give you for this? They're not going to give you the bare minimum. They're not going to give you a 10-foot cable or 15-foot cable.
Yeah, they're definitely not. Just Southbound tweeted out. He said, "Destiny microtransactions pissed off a lot of people that put time in to grind on the game, and it says it's $40."
I think it's $29.99.
Yeah, I think it's 30, but yeah. But I mean, honestly, you spent all this time grinding in that game, and then only to be able to see people just hop on for the first time, pay that $30 or whatever. I'm with you, Mooch. I don't mind the microtransactions like as much as other people think that that's a bad word, but look, not everybody has that time. I get that, but $30 is really steep. Like the rec packs on Halo 5,
30 is way too steep. Like I said, you have to be somewhere in the vicinity of. The reason they're listen. Here's the thing, though. This goes to the credit of what Southbound's saying. Okay, Southbound's saying I busted my ass. Okay, so you're not going to come in here and just be where I am in 2 weeks. Because granted, I said it takes a long time for me because I'm only getting a couple hours in every other day. But there's people who are going to do that, pay the $30, and they're going to be where Southbound got to in a year and a half. They're going to be there in a week. So what I'm trying to say is this. The reason that they put that price up is to deter you from buying it. I know that sounds stupid. But they have to be very careful here. Do they want the $30 from you? Abso-fucking-lutely. But at the same time, they can't upset the millions they have playing the game, like Southbound's saying. So what do? They're like this. Listen, I don't know if you guys have ever done this. I'll give you guys, this has happened to me a lot of times. When you hire contractors and stuff working on buildings, okay, when you hire people, when people don't want to do the job for you, they don't tell you, I don't want to do the job for you. What they do is they overquote. They quote themselves out of the job. This is what this is. This is basically like if you wanted to put a little deck on the back of your house, okay, or you wanted to put like a swimming pool in, and you hire somebody, and you're like, how much would you, and the going rate's like, say, $30,000 for a pool, okay, or $40,000 for a pool. That comes in, he goes, I'll do it for $50,000. And you're like, come on, dude, why $50,000? The pool's $30,000. Everyone has told me that. He doesn't want to do it. He's like, look, if you really want me to do it, it's going to be $50,000. Basically, he's pricing himself out. So what this is this is a deterrent. This is saying if you want to pay me $30 to advance in the game, we'll take your money. Thank you so much. It costs nothing to do. But we really don't want you to do it because you should earn it the way that everybody else did. So do it yourself and don't spend the $30. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, but this could be also their thinking. Which
get the full
is
experience of the game.
Yeah, but it's like, because that game is such a grind and stuff, new players aren't going to feel invited to that game when they're getting their ass kicked by players that are fully leveled up. So say you get the game for $30 and then you can fully upgrade to be on the level playing field for another 30. So I mean, because I did see the Taken King for $30 here and there, you know what I'm saying? So I can see why they do that, but
there's an element you're missing, though, Crap. There's an element you're missing because that's not true. You go spend $30. That doesn't mean. Listen, I got the Taken King. Okay, I got to start a new character at level 25, and then I had my other character already at like 30 or something like that. My point being is, I'm 40 level, and I'm light like 280. I still can't even get into raids with Southbound and his friends because they're all over 300. And I've been playing that game. Look at the hours logged in. There's a good chunk. I haven't played as much as these guys, but I played a lot. And I'll tell you right now, it takes a long time. So even with the booster, there's still a commitment to playing the game, and that's only for one character. So if you, God forbid, you want to be the other one, the hunter, or you want to be the Titan or something like that, those you'd have to pay 30 a pop. They're not going to pay 30 a pop. That means you'd have to buy the game for 60 and then spend another 90. That's not happening. So
if you play Destiny for like 2-3 hours a day for a whole week, you could get to level 25 easily. Because the vanilla Destiny, that's what happened.
You can get to level 25, Wolf, but your light level, you're not going to get to in 2 weeks. You're not going to get to 310 in 2 weeks. You're going to take about maybe a month and a half, 2 months if you're playing it about 2 hours a night. You know what I mean? It takes a while. So I mean, realistically, it's just a matter of it's really like I said, it's a deterrent. You want to pay them, they'll take your money gladly. But they priced it high in this case to deter you from doing it. So I mean, like I said, that's just my take from how I'm playing it. Like I said, I've been busting my ass trying to catch up, and I still haven't been able to do a raid with like Southbound and my friends that have been playing for over a year from work because I'm still not high enough of a level to keep up with them.
Oh, by the way, have you guys tried the new Halo 5 update, the new maps?
I haven't yet because I haven't really been around that much.
Man, I tried the new maps. I tried the Warzone, the new map for Warzone. My God, I tried Forge. It's fucking amazing, yo. I'm telling you.
And it's all free stuff.
All free, like you don't have to
big download. Big download too. I think it was 3.2 gigs or 3.8 gigs.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, they're giving you.
Mine downloaded by itself. That's one thing I like.
They're giving you free rep packs, cosmetics for your armor and everything.
Let me ask you a question, Grap. I have my console on instant on. Of course, so if I say X1 on, it's always ready to go. The power brick is in the white color, not the orange. So it's always on, this and that. But consistently with games, when I come home, digital games too, like I have Halo 5 digital. I clicked on it the other night, and it said Halo needs an update. Why is it I don't have with instant on? Shouldn't it just download it?
Mine just does, and mine
doesn't.
Yeah, mine
I don't know
just
if it does the games. I think it just does the UI and stuff like that. That's all.
Is there a setting where I can just?
I think there is a setting where you can do it, set it on or off. Like I like it to where it updates when the game.
Why wouldn't I want it updated? No matter what they're going to push through, I'm not going to be able to play online unless I'm completely updated anyway. So of course I want it.
Yeah, well, exactly. So that's why I have mine set, and I'm not sure really. Like, there's two things that bug me about the UI right now. One, if you don't have Connect, how the fuck do you get to set to where you can put your code in for if you get a code?
I found that easily. Now you go over to games, and then when you get to the game section of the menu, you just click on search all games, and once you click on search all games, it brings you to another games category, and then you just hit RB. It's one of the top tiles. You can see it. It says use a code on the far right.
That seems like it should be a little bit easier.
It should be easier. That was something I literally had to hunt for. Yeah.
I mean, thankfully, I can just say Xbox use a code, but I do have friends that are fucking cheap that just got their new Xboxes and they bought the cheapest one without Connect, and they're like, "Hey, Crappy, how do we use a code?" And I'm like, you know what I mean? I don't fucking know. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that's what I said. They're like, we didn't get Connect, and I'm like, well, that's your bad. Chalk that up to you.
One of the coolest things I saw when Major Nelson was doing the reveal in 2013.
You don't use Connect?
I love Connect. But like literally, here's the funny. Remember the I call it a skew. What are those things called that are like the discombobulated looking like icons that you can hold up and it scans it? Whatever those new SKUs are, they were all over the place a while ago. Now they're starting to fade out already. But instead of doing the 25-digit code, you used to be able to say X1, use a code. It would come up, and then you hold that badge in front of it, whatever that scrambled message is, and it would put it through. And Major Nelson's like, this is what we're going to implement moving forward. I've seen it like 3 times when I get a game now. Only like 3. The rest are like a 25-digit code because 90% of people probably didn't. Like you said, all the new people are not getting a Connect. So we're still to 25. I just wish, listen, you could encrypt it a different way, Microsoft. Can we not do 25 fucking digits? It takes forever to put that goddamn thing in. Even with your phone, it sucks. Like, make it like 10 digits. Put a fucking symbol in there. Make an emoji. Put a fucking, like, orange or a fucking guy smiling or a thumbs up. I don't know.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that that's probably the one thing that bugs me. I like what they've done, and hopefully they have a really good experience for like the new people. Getting their new Xbox for Christmas or whatever.
I think that's what February is going to bring when Mike Ibarra said the next update is going to come out. I think it's going to be just making things a little bit more customizable or just a little easier in the navigation, which is going to be nice because we got this great UI now, and now just give the team a few months to really polish it up, and it's going to be something really sweet.
Yeah,
it already is.
Oh, absolutely. And we've actually usually we keep this around an hour because that's what I like to do on this podcast. But we had over 250 watching
went crazy.
us. We did. It's been wow. Now it says 300 people. I don't know what the hell is up with that, but now it says 326. Bullshit. Come on.
The princess is here. That's why. Come on, guys.
No, seriously, like this thing is like 336 now or whatever. Man, there ain't no 336 people watching this right now. Get out of here. But
come on, Crap. You know
crazy.
there are.
No, come on, because it just jumped up. Like I don't get that. But anyway, is there anything you guys want to close with?
No, I'm good.
Yeah,
well,
I would just say thank you for watching the show, a show that has more replay value than any Sony exclusive.
Yeah.
Be sure to check out my channel where I bring the motherfucking facts, and subscribe to everybody here in the panel.
Hell yeah. What about you, Titanfall Princess? Go ahead.
I'd like to say keep it American, and UK keep it Xbox, and just a couple shout outs to people who have been watching us as well.
Are we shouting out Jesus this week?
No. Dope Dundee. Crap, go make me a sandwich, okay? Dope Dundee, Mr. Gears, Lee's Andrews, Blues Clues, Foxfire, Gaming Forever, and Mad Riz.
Okay.
Yeah,
Keep
definitely
it Xbox,
Mr. Gears, man. Definitely Mr. Gears, man. He's a good dude.
Awesome. All right. Yeah. What about you, Blackie? You got anything to say since you were late?
Yeah, I'll say make sure you guys check out exclusive games, the backlog of games. Like, if you're getting the Xbox, there's really so much to play. I want to give a shout out to everybody watching. You guys really are the best, man. I appreciate it.
Hell yeah. And Mooch, man, you just did that world tour. You were on you were everywhere, man. You were like the Tonight Show, Jimmy Fallon. You were on every damn show, the Late Show, this show, that show.
Well, I took a couple of days off, so I am going to do one shout-out real quick. Tomorrow, me and a buddy of mine, a very good friend of mine, we play a lot of Titanfall, a lot of hours. PTK Blam is coming on my channel, and we're going to do a Q&A with the audience. So that'll be tomorrow. Yeah, that'll be tomorrow night. Me and him are just going to filter through the good questions and answer them. And then, of course, I always like to give PTK. I've known him so long that I can give him a couple. I give him a couple jabs. I try to get that he's Mr. I call him Mr. Neutral because he's
the worrywart.
He doesn't like. He doesn't like. Well, he has his channel and he does a really good job with it. I enjoy all his content. I never miss one of his shows. But I know the true PTK and he bleeds green. So we'll see how much green we can get out of him tomorrow.
All right, guys, and we'll catch you guys. Sunday is BGST. And then we'll probably do this show again next Wednesday because Friday is Christmas. So anyway, you guys enjoy your week and spend time with your family and loved ones and all that stuff. Keep it Xbox. Rack 'em up. We'll catch you guys next time.